Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is SprinkleBeard, and today, in our review of every single champion, we are going to be reviewing Preacher. If you like this type of content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Or if you want to interact with us, join us over at twitch.tv/SprinkleBeard. I try to stream every single day that I can, around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that being said, let's jump into it. So Preacher here, we have an HP champion, which is a nice little change from some of the other ones that we've had going on. So we're going to jump right down to Preacher here. So this top line, for those of you who are wondering what the heck you're looking at, this is me entering in the data of the champion, and then below is comparing it to the average, which is here in the middle. So HP, she's actually a little bit below the average, which is, does that make sense? Yep, she's a little bit below the average HP amount for an HP champion, so that is not a good sign. She has a higher base attack, which doesn't really come into play about anything. A little bit lower on the defense, a little bit higher on the speed. And then when it comes to crit rate, crit damage, resistance, and accuracy, again, because she's a gray champion, they must never change. And because we're not ascending them, we don't get any bonuses there. So for an HP champion, let's see what she does. Attacks one enemy. Has a 25% chance of placing a 25% in decreased attack debuff for one turn, with no chances of making it better. So ultimately, we're probably counting on her for her damage, and that doesn't really make sense as an HP champion. Maybe she was supposed to be an attack champion, and they goofed. And I'm guessing, like, that's the only thing that would make sense. So this is just unfortunate stats, or maybe she's just a very, very dated champion. Maybe they wanted to make her, completely throw away, no, she's not meant to be usable. No one in their right mind is going to use Preacher, and maybe that's the decision that they made. The decreased attack debuff, this is never a bad thing, right? It is more helpful on bosses rather than any other type of champion. And the big reason behind that is because most HP champions, their damage scales off of their HP. And then most defense, it scales off of defense. So lowering their attacks doesn't actually, matter too much on, about a third of the champions. So obviously, if the champion scales with attack, it does matter. So any decrease is better than none, right? This is still better than just attacks one enemy and does nothing else. It's just unfortunate that it doesn't scale with her HP, that her HP is actually a bit lower than what I was expecting. I thought I made a typo, to be honest with you. So Preacher is going to be that first champion where I'm like, this is really hard for me to ever justify using her. Like, even if you like her, the fact that she's an HP champion that scales off of attack is going to make her more difficult to use properly or to make her great. The other big thing is, even though she is close to 700 defense, she is still in the 600s, which means that she is more flimsy, more capable of dying, or it's a sad thing because she has a shield and she's supposed to be an HP champion, and both of her defensive stats are quite low, where she's just going to feel like she pops when you use her. So I hope this helps you guys. I would encourage you not to use Preacher. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, until that next time, ta-ta.